legal loopholes, or a search for truth? When you read the federal court ruling in the Kendrick Johnson civil case, one thing becomes immediately clear. The judgment spends a significant amount of time focusing on procedural technicalities, service disputes, sovereign immunity claims, and pleading standards. In other words, the ruling appears to focus heavily on legal loopholes. But what many people want to know is something much simpler. What about the evidence? What about the environment inside the school where Kendrick Johnson died? Because when a 17-year-old student is found dead inside a rolled-up wrestling mat in a school gym, the most important question should be whether the evidence surrounding that environment has been fully examined. Instead of moving deeper into discovery and testimony, the case appears to have been stopped at the courthouse door on procedural grounds. From my perspective, that raises a serious concern. Was the court more focused on identifying legal technicalities in the lawsuit or on allowing the evidence surrounding Kendrick Johnson's death to be examined in full? Because when you begin to look closely at the conditions inside Lowndes High School, several troubling issues begin to emerge, and those issues deserve to be examined, not dismissed through legal loopholes, not buried under procedural arguments, but examined carefully, openly, and honestly. Because when the life of a student is lost inside a school building, the search for truth should always come before the search for technicalities. When you begin to look closely at the environment inside Lowndes High School in the days leading up to Kendrick Johnson's death, several troubling issues begin to appear, issues that raise serious questions about supervision, safety, and accountability. First, there is the issue of bullying. In my investigation, I have obtained video footage from the school cafeteria showing Kendrick Johnson being bullied by fellow student Brian Bell. The video raises an obvious question. Where was the supervision when this was happening inside the lunchroom? Schools have a legal responsibility to supervise students and maintain a safe environment. That duty applies in hallways, cafeterias, and especially gyms. But the cafeteria footage is only one part of the story. There is also video showing students inside the old gym, the same gym where Kendrick Johnson's body was later discovered, engaging in fights with what appears to be little or no adult supervision present. Another piece of evidence that raises serious concerns about supervision inside Lowndes High School is the video showing students fighting inside the old gym. The footage appears to show multiple students engaging in physical fights in the gym with no visible staff intervention. From my perspective, that video speaks volumes about the level of monitoring that may have existed in that space. If students were able to gather inside the gym and fight without immediate supervision, it raises a critical question about whether that area of the school was being properly monitored at all. Schools are responsible for supervising areas where students congregate, especially locations like gyms where large groups gather. To me, the video of students fighting in that gym suggests that the space may not have been actively supervised. Students fighting inside a gym without immediate intervention raises serious questions about whether that area of the school was being properly monitored. When you place these pieces together, bullying in the lunchroom and fighting inside the gym, it raises a serious question about the environment students were operating in at Lowndes High School. Was the school properly monitoring areas where students congregated? Were staff aware of ongoing conflicts between students? And were warning signs about student safety being ignored? And then there is the condition of the gym itself. The wrestling mats inside the old gym were reportedly stored standing upright against the wall in a vertical position. Storing large wrestling mats upright can create a dangerous situation if students attempt to reach into them or climb on them, especially if there are no warning signs posted about the potential hazard. If equipment is stored in a way that could trap or injure a student, basic safety practices would normally require clear warnings and proper supervision. But there is another issue that complicates the timeline even further. And then there is the critical issue of the surveillance cameras. School officials have stated that the surveillance cameras inside the gym did not provide clear footage of the area where Kendrick Johnson was found. The explanation given was that the camera system in that gym was not functioning properly. That explanation raises another critical question. If the school knew that the cameras in the gym were not working correctly, why were they not repaired? Security camera systems are meant to help schools monitor student activity and maintain safety. If they fail, it should raise immediate concern. So the question becomes, was the camera system being actively monitored? According to information that has surfaced during this investigation, the surveillance camera that should have been monitoring the wrestling mats had reportedly been struck and moved out of position before Kendrick Johnson's body was discovered. That meant the camera was no longer capturing the area where the mats were stored. If school officials knew that the camera covering that area had been knocked out of alignment and did nothing to repair or reposition it, that raises serious questions about whether the gym was being properly monitored. And when you place that alongside the other issues, bullying in the cafeteria, fighting inside the gym without supervision, wrestling mats stored in a potentially hazardous vertical position, and surveillance cameras that were reportedly not functioning properly, it paints a picture of an environment students were navigating that may not have been properly monitored. When you step back and look at the full picture inside Lowndes High School, the concerns begin to stack on top of one another. Video showing bullying in the lunchroom. Video showing students fighting inside the gym without supervision. Wrestling mats stored in a hazardous vertical position with no visible warning signs. And surveillance cameras inside the gym that reportedly were not functioning properly. Each of these issues raises questions about supervision, safety, and accountability inside the school. And here's the part many people may not realize. Schools are not simply encouraged to maintain safe environments for students, they are legally required to do so. Under Georgia's Safe School Act, school systems are required to maintain safe learning environments and ensure that students are protected. That responsibility includes monitoring areas where students gather, addressing dangerous conditions, and maintaining security systems designed to protect students. So when questions arise about bullying, unsupervised areas of the school, hazardous equipment storage, and malfunctioning security cameras, those are not small issues. Those are issues that go directly to the heart of school safety laws that were created to protect students. Yet when the Johnson family brought their civil lawsuit seeking answers, the case did not move forward to fully examine these questions in court. Instead, the ruling focused primarily on procedural barriers, service disputes, sovereign immunity arguments, and technical pleading requirements. From my perspective, that begins to feel like a legal technicality game. Because when a 17-year-old student dies inside a school gym, the public deserves a full examination of the environment that student was in. The first question, were students properly supervised? The second question, were safety hazards ignored? Were security systems functioning the way they were supposed to? Those are not small questions. Those are the kinds of questions that go to the heart of school safety, accountability, and justice. And until those questions are fully answered, the conversation about what happened to Kendrick Johnson will continue. Justice for Kendrick Johnson. KJ's Army will not stop until justice is served.
School surveillance video captures Kendrick Johnson at lunch for what would have been his last meal on the day of his disappearance. Less than 24 hours later, his lifeless body would be found in a rolled-up gym mat, leaving lots of unanswered questions. And while more than 100 students...
Watch an unknown student reach down and retrieve something from his shoe and pass it to Brian Bell. Brian Bell retrieves the item, walks away, circles back, and pushes Kendrick Johnson. Then Brian meets up with someone in the back of the lunchroom. Who? Now, family, let's watch this one more time, but slower. Can anyone identify the two girls standing with the boy that's handing something to Brian?
Cooperated with investigators, only 2, according to the case file, refused to talk to police. The 2 were former Lowndes High School wrestler and now 18-year-old Brandon Bell and his younger brother, a classmate of KJ's. According to a 500-plus page case file, their father is FBI agent Rick Bell, who referred investigators to his son's attorney, and he advised them not to talk to police. Those interviews may have been relevant as students told investigators Johnson and the younger Bell boy, both varsity football players, had a fight on a school bus on the way to a game the year before, suggesting a simmering feud. Still, police reached out to Agent Bell a second time about talking to his sons. His attorney stated after consulting with the father of Brandon Bell and his brother, he had advised them not to make a statement, and therefore the pair would not be meeting with investigators. Meanwhile, a closer look at the attendance records of the younger Bell boy on the day of KJ's disappearance shows he was not tardy or absent. As for the older brother, Brandon Bell, student records show that he and other wrestling team members were excused from 3rd and 4th block classes in order to attend a wrestling tournament 2 hours away in Macon, Georgia. While it's unclear when exactly the team left campus, the court-ordered release of surveillance video shows Brandon numerous times the day KJ went missing. Here, footage shows that after at least 2 class periods have elapsed, Bell is crisscrossing the hallway in front of the old gym, in the vicinity where Kendrick Johnson's body would be found the following morning. As far as the video here of KJ at lunch, we have confirmed that at least one wrestling team member who was going to that tournament is in the lunch line just ahead of KJ.